of May 2021. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
to the
and
Republic,
to the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Madam Clerk, would you please read the special meeting notice and follow it with a roll call?
Members of the Town Board, special Town Board meeting Thursday, May 27th, 2021 at 1 p.m. Please be advised that pursuant to Section 62 of Town Law, a special Town Board meeting will be held via video conferencing on Thursday, May 27th, 2021 at 1 p.m. for the purpose of considering the following: Home Rule Request Resolution in support of Senate Bill S5985A as it relates to the discontinuance of Parkland. Jay Schneiderman, Supervisor, Town of Southampton, dated May 26, 2021.
Right.
Supervisor Schneiderman,
Here.
Councilwoman Lofstad,
Here.
Councilman Martell,
Here.
Councilman Bouvier,
Here.
Councilman Schiavone.
Present.
Excellent.
All right. I've also been asked to add one additional resolution to this meeting that's time sensitive, which is ID number 36676. It's a 2021 notice to bidders for dredge pipe and accessories. I know Kathleen, who'll be part of this meeting, will be able to explain this in a little bit more detail. This has to do with the North Sea beach colony, and the county is in a hurry to get this equipment procured, which will help allow that inlet, the sand, to be placed in where it's really most needed. So I'll explain it more if we're able to entertain it. So let me make a motion to walk it onto the agenda. Do I have a second? Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you. So we'll be able to take that up as well. All right. We're going to start with public portion. Is there anyone who wishes to be heard?
I see no hands.
I'll wait one more moment.
No hands.
All right. I'll make a motion to close public portion.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, public portion is closed. So now we'll go to the agenda. And where is the meeting? What's the bill number? I don't have it in front of me for some reason.
575.
Can you read it, Tommy John?
Sure. Town Board Resolution 575 of 2021, Home Rule Request Resolution in support of Senate Bill S5985-A as it relates to the discontinuance of Parkland.
All right, so I'll make the motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martell. So on the motion. So this is the Senate version of what we did the other night. We could only do the Assembly version because only the Assembly bill had been amended. Though, Kathleen, the Senate bill has now been amended.
Correct.
But there still may be an issue that we're trying to clarify, correct?
Yes, we still may have to amend a description as it relates to 153 West Montauk Highway, which would be the piece that we are looking to discontinue.
Okay, so the piece next to the Hampton Bays Diner, which had CPF funds and other funds, we had initially thought that only the portion closest to the road was designated as CPF. We still believe that, but it was never subdivided. So to properly cleanse it, we need to reference the entire parcel, not just the front acreage of it, correct?
Correct.
That's the issue. So what I'm going to recommend is that we pass this. If it turns out that they need to both be amended again, I'll call another special meeting on Monday because we're running out of time while the Senate and the Assembly are in session to get this done. Hopefully that won't have to happen, but there is a realistic chance that it will, right, Kathleen?
Monday,
Yes.
Monday's Memorial Day.
Oh, yeah, it wouldn't be
Tuesday.
Monday. I'm sorry. I won't do this to you or to the memory of our fallen. It would be Tuesday then. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, any questions on it?
I'd just like to kind of reinforce what Rick had said Tuesday night, that this is not the approving of the Good Ground Road extension. It just gives us an option should we decide to move forward with that project.
That's correct. So if you know, the community and the town board is desirous of creating a road, you know, obviously the best spot would be a regularized intersection there, which is through the diner property. And rather than just eliminate that property as commercial property, to swap it so that the commercial property would still exist on the corner, basically, of that intersection. The way to get there is through this transfer of property ultimately, but we can't do the transfer until the CPF or the parkland designation is removed from this. To do that, we have to swap another piece of parkland, which we have designated as the Belkheimer piece. And then it's really up to the board. If Albany gives us the right to entertain it, it would be subject to a mandatory referendum. So it would go on the ballot and the public would ultimately decide whether they wanted to bless this or not. But the board is not compelled in any way to move forward. You know, if we do, we have the referendum and the public decides. If we don't, that's the end of the story. This just really preserves our options as we try to figure this out. You know, our planning director has made it abundantly clear her belief that this additional road is essential for traffic flow currently and in the future in the Hampton Bays community. And it is for emergency services, you know, for be able to route ambulances and fire trucks, police officers, but also, you know, people just trying to go home, you know. So, you know, we can have that conversation later. This just gives us puts the option on the table. All right. All right. We had a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approved. All right, we have a second resolution, and anybody who feels like reading it, who gets to it before I do.
I have it in
You got it? Go ahead, Tommy
Yeah.
John.
document ID number 36676. This is 2021 notice to bidders for dredge pipe and accessories.
Okay, so I'll make that motion. Tommy John, you want a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, so, and Kathleen, I know you've been working on this. Why don't you go ahead and explain it?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good afternoon, members of the board. So this is in furtherance of your North Sea Beach Colony Beach Erosion Control District. As you may recall, that district was formed a couple of years ago. In furtherance of that effort, there was a construction project that was completed last, I don't know if I'm going to get the timing right, but it was completed, I believe, pre-COVID, in which about 15,000 cubic yards of sand were placed on that beach, and the project was very successful. In addition to the placement of sand, the project came in under budget because of the county's participation in moving that sand to the property owned by the Drunken Millers, and we appreciated their efforts to help us do that. Because there was remaining funds in that budget, the next plan or step forward was, in furtherance of the project and the life of the project, was to purchase a pipe a larger dredge pipe, a 14-inch dredge pipe, where 12-inch pipes are typically used by the county, so that in going forward, the county could use that pipe to put more sand on the beach and to reach further. So it would put more sand on the beach and it would get further than it already has. We would do that if successful by going out to bid, purchasing the pipe, and then entering into a cooperative MOU or shared services agreement with the county, whereby they would take that pipe, put it on their dredge, and allow it to be used for this as well as other projects. So this is in furtherance of that effort. There are still some steps that would have to happen if we get a vendor that is able to comply with the specs, but that's the goal.
Let me just add a little bit to it. So when the county does these dredge projects at North Sea Inlet, they've been piling it up at Drunken Miller's property, and then these guys, the North Sea Beach Colony, is basically paying to move the sand using backhoes or whatever equipment, and it's fairly expensive way to move the sand. The county lacks the ability to pump the sand further, though they're willing to do it, which would then obviate the need to have all this, repositioning of sand. So they have calculated it's actually cheaper for the district to purchase the pipe, to own this pipe, than to pay the constant moving through the years of the sand down the beach. It's just more cost effective. So Kathleen's done a lot of research on this. They will own it, but the county will store it for them in exchange for the county also being able to use it on other projects. So it works out. I guess it meets all the legal requirements, Kathleen, and
Yes.
It's just really super time sensitive because the county has to procure it by a certain date to be able to use it. Correct?
Correct. Yeah, their dredging schedule, as you know, begins around August.
So that's all there is to it. Now the resolution in front of us, is it a bond or
It's
no?
it's a notice to bidders, Mr. Supervisor.
Okay, so they already have the money in their the budget. The money's sitting in the bank from the initial bond.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so this doesn't require 4 votes.
So I have a question about the pipe, and it's more curiosity. The location of the beach colony is a considerable distance from the sand that is stockpiled, or the sand that's in the deltas that's being moved. So what are they going to do? Take pipe and then remove sections of pipe and work backwards that way, so they don't have to use an excavator to move the sand?
It's a pretty long pipe. Kathleen, how long is it?
I believe it's, I'm going to get this wrong. I want to say 80 yards.
It's like a half a mile.
apologize.
I thought it was like 2,000 feet.
It's 4,000 feet.
4,000.
Just
It's
shy of a mile.
4,000 feet. It's what, 4/5 of a mile?
It's about quarters of a mile,
I can't hear you, John.
about 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah. So Tommy John, it's probably, plus it adds on to their pipe that they already have. So I think it gets it to where it needs to go.
That'll do it. I'm looking at it.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. And I know, Julie, you did not support the initial tax district, so it's up to you how you want to vote on spending. It's up to everybody, but I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do, although it can be used for other projects and it's more cost effective, just for consistency, I'm going to abstain.
Okay, understood. All right, so I had a motion and a second. I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's approved.
Abstain.
All right, is there any other business? Seeing none, I will make a motion to close.
Second?
before we close, I didn't get to do this at our work session, but this is Memorial Day weekend. Want to remind everybody why we celebrate Memorial Day weekend. What we really are, it's a solemn remembrance of the lives lost. Hundreds of thousands just in the past 100 years who have given their lives to give us the freedoms that allow us to celebrate weekends like this. So we're very grateful, obviously, for, all of the sacrifices made. And, and again, I just one last time want to thank everybody, who's been helping in the pandemic. It's been really quite an impressive response, but I know, Kathleen, while you're here, all the work that you did with the emergency orders and working through the pandemic, we really want to let you know how much we appreciate you for that. So with that, I'd like to, again, make a motion to close. Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?